Welcome to the Life Lift Podcast, the podcast for the ambitious, the purpose-driven, and the ones who know they're meant for more. If you're ready to unlock the next version of yourself, you're in the right place.
Hey everyone, I'm Kaly.
And I'm Adam, and this podcast is for people who are done playing small. Whether you're building a business, rethinking your identity, or just craving more from life.
We're two friends, entrepreneurs and growth junkies who have built businesses, hit burnout, and found our way back to purpose. And now we're here to help you do the same, but faster, clearer, and without breakdown. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, it's your friends Adam and Kaly, and thank you for joining us today at the Life Lift Podcast, where we are going to be talking about how to build a brand, and not just any brand, but build a brand with purpose, passion, enthusiasm, with excitement, and that entices people to want to know more about what it is that you're building. So this is something that Kaly and I have been very much on a very similar journey, I would say, for the last number of years, building the incredible Secret that's in Glasgow, and also House, which is my clinic over in Prestwick, soon to be number two TBC. But building a brand is something that's very, very close to both of our hearts. And so today we want to share the top learns that we've really come across, some things the easy way, some things the hard way, and things that we knew from the beginning and things that we wish we'd have known at the beginning. So I'm going to kick off today by asking you, Kaly, with all the different areas, looks, feels that you could have gone down with the Secret. Why is the Secret the way it is?
First of all, I want to acknowledge that building a brand is so difficult in this day and age because there's ideas popping up all the time. And then how do you stand out? I mean, you go to buy bread, there's 25, 30 different breads that you can buy from, but yet there's still more breads coming out. Same with coffee shops. And so I think it's really important when you're trying to build a brand to stay true to your individuality. And that's not always appropriate depending on the business that you're building, but you need to put your face first. So that's what I try to use with the Secret. And that really is the secret behind the Secret, is that I tried to make sure that people knew it was about me, my ethos, the way that I want to look after people, and I had to put myself out there. And that's not always easy because you also open yourself up to so much criticism. Especially when you're in the medical field, there's so much expectation about the white coat syndrome and professionalism. And well, I'm trying to stay relevant by doing TikToks, and it's not always in line with the white coat syndrome way that we were taught in university. So I think the number one thing is to stay authentic to your individuality, because that's really where your brand starts. Why are you starting? Why are you doing it? Like, why House?
Is that a question to me?
Yeah. To the universe.
So I agree with what you're saying. I think we talked about this before, that you can only replicate who you are. You can't replicate something that you're not. And I think that's where I've seen, from my experience of working with lots of brands like Four Seasons and Jumeirah and Louis Vuitton, they know who they are, exactly what you're saying. And for me, when we started building House, if I asked all my friends to describe in one word, and you only get 5 words to describe Adam and Connor, what would they be? That is House. And I would say it's luxury, bougie, a little bit flashy at times, high end, yeah. And I think like lots of detail. So those, I know that's more than
Personal,
one, but
yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So those are the words I think that people would associate with me and Connor over the last, decade and a bit that we've been together. And so I think when we look to then build whatever this next chapter was going to be with House, we can only build from what we already are. So with all the houses that we'd renovated before, they all had a very similar look, feel, style.
I could tell your house.
You could pinpoint on Rightmove which house has been designed by us. So, when it came to designing House, it now is a reflection of just who we are anyway as people. I have said this for a long, long time, and it's how 5-star hotels operate, is that you have to touch on every sense.
Yeah.
So for me, when we were building House and building the brand of what people know and what they will talk about. Because people don't talk about the dentistry. They say the dentistry is good, but they say, did you see this? Did you see the service, how good it was? Did you see the attention to detail that's gone into the design? Or it just made me feel a certain
just going to
way.
say, people remember how you make them feel.
Exactly. And that Maya Angelou quote is so true, that people will forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And so, you know, when you, for me, the core of building a brand is, when you distill it down, it's always, how do you want someone to feel when they either use what you have to sell, eat what you have to sell, drink what you have to sell, have the dentistry whatever it is. So, you know, and for me, the 5 chords that go into that are, what do they see, what do they hear, what do they feel, what do they smell, and what do they touch? Because when you touch on all of those senses that we have as human beings, you really touch the core of who people actually are.
Yeah.
And a lot of places, let's take Tesco, for example. What do you smell often when you go into Tesco?
Nothingness, just commercial nothingness.
I was looking for bread, but that's okay.
Is it? No, I associate that with Lidl.
Yeah, well, Lidl
When
too.
I go into Lidl, it's like the smelliest, nicest bread in the world.
And then what does it make you want to do?
Eat and buy it straight away, and then come back all the time.
Exactly. And like a lot of places, they pump this scent of bread. They're not making bread at the front door, but they pump that smell to the front door to make you feel hungry, because when you're hungry, people buy more. And so, you know, the music, I don't know if you've ever listened to the music that's in Tesco or Asda or
super chill.
Super
and
chill.
It's like pop.
But then also at key times of the day, it goes up tempo so that you walk a bit quicker, because when you're walking a bit quicker, you're more likely to put more stuff in the trolley.
You don't think.
Exactly. You know, if it's middle of the day, the music is much slower. It's a bit more meandering because they want you to spend longer in the store, maybe have a little coffee in the coffee shop. So it's all designed to make you want to spend more money. And, you know, when it comes to me building house, and you same with building The Secret, you have to really think about, what do the 5 senses tell me about this brand?
Yeah.
And the brands that do it the best touch on all 5 senses. The brands that you don't really remember, they only really touch on a couple.
It's so true. And that's what you taught me when I met you 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually was going to call The Secret the 6th sense, because I really wanted to incorporate that magic so hard. And the 6th sense was how they were feeling. But that's exactly what I've created in The Secret. I wanted to host my patients. I did not want them to come for an appointment. So I remember not that long after seeing you, I'd gone on holiday, went to Turkey, and I was in the lobby, and I think it was my mum or dad were the ones checking in. And the rest of us were just sitting by the chairs with all our bags. And I remember just looking around, like, you know, what music's playing, is a live piano, the smell, there was fresh juice as you came in. Like, there was some people walking in their flip-flops, and it was warm. And I remember thinking, this is what I want to create when people come to see me. That, like, I'm checking into a hotel and I know I'm going to have a good time. And that's exactly what The Secret looks like. It's like a Dubai hotel. And I wanted it to feel like you were coming into my home, and I was going to then host you and look after you. So there's family photos everywhere. It's a sofa that you sit on. There's no leaflets or anything like that. It's as far away from clinical as possible. And you will know that Healthcare Improvement Scotland were not happy about that. They dragged their heels because they just don't understand why it wasn't just white and clinical and smelled like bleach. But I really wanted to create that 6th sense, which is exactly what you taught me, and everything that I incorporated into The Secret as well.
Thank you. I think it's really important when, especially if you're listening to this and you're on your journey already, or you're thinking about starting your own journey with building a brand, regardless of what it is. It doesn't have to be in medical or dentistry or facial. Is that I think you really need to define, what do you want people to remember? That's, for me, where it all begins. And I think a lot of people get confused by, it's got to look pretty, because that's going to make people feel a certain way, or it's got to have great music, because then that way people feel really good when they're there.
Engaged, yeah.
And those are ingredients, but there are incredible brands. Apple, for example, you could go into any Apple store anywhere in the world, and they're exactly the same. Yeah. You get the same service.
It's so basic.
The training is the same. It's very, very basic, and yet people love it. I was in Chicago. Yeah, I was in Chicago not that long ago, and there was a line out of the store, and this was like a massive store. It was like a big glass box in the middle of Chicago. Anyone that's been on the Magnificent Mile there, you'll know where it is. But heaving with people.
Yeah.
Because they're all obsessed with not only the product, but the feel. They all dress similarly.
But even their boxes are magnetic.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the way that you experience unboxing it is also in tune to Apple.
Yeah.
It's so clever.
It's really clever.
And all the designer brands are like that. Chanel, Louis Vuitton, they all have that color. So you want to have a touch of that. Have you heard of the snow globe effect?
I have, but tell me, because I think this is a really good concept.
Have you?
Yeah.
So the snowball effect is when you create an environment that people can't touch, but they're close enough to it, and it like entices them in.
Nice.
And I think in this day and age, Instagram was really responsible for all of us creating our own snow globes, which is very difficult because everything's kind of shifting onto TikTok, and TikTok actually celebrates authenticity, no filter, ad hoc, ums and haws, and that you're in your car with like coffee down your top. And that, I think we've been so stuck in that snow globe effect where it's almost a relief to be able to see somebody that's normal.
Yeah.
But in branding and in business, I think it's really important to just keep it into that snow globe. I don't know if you've watched the Elvis movie.
No, I've not actually.
You would love it.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not an Elvis fan.
It's me neither, but the film is unbelievable. But
Really?
it starts with Elvis in a snow globe.
Okay.
And then the snow globe falls and it crumbles, and then you realize that his manager has died and he's dropped the snow globe. And it's such a poignant way of depicting his life, because actually behind the scenes it was chaos. He was abused, he didn't make any money, he lost everything. But his branding and his marketing created this untouchable snow globe, like you almost didn't dare to go near him. And I think in branding, that's kind of what you want to create, so that when people then eventually do come inside and it's a safe space, which is my why in The Secret, they then feel like they're an elite part of that, or they're important. Because my patients, I want them to feel important, heard, safe, cared for, that I have patience for them. But I also want them to want to be part of The Secret. So I had to create the snow globe. And then once they're in, they know that they're in and nobody else is allowed in there. But the snow globe effect, I think, even though we're, as a culture, starting to go shift towards TikTok, in branding, you do still need to keep that in mind. Would you agree?
I do agree, yeah.
Because the house is almost untouchable.
Yeah, I think creating something that people want to belong to is really important. And creating something that you give people permission to take a little piece away with, I think is the way to bring people in like that. So, you know, how I know you do this the same as we do, but we do treat people like family, like our best friends when they come. And that's not to manipulate or to...
No, it's genuine. You actually want them to feel at home.
Because we've created something that we're really proud of. Yeah. And that we want them to be part of it and enjoy every aspect of it. Being part of it too. And I think for us at House, creating something that is beyond... And I think this is where our two brands are maybe slightly different, and both work equally well. And I think this is why it's good to talk about this. For me, our brand is about the brand is probably the wrong word, but it's about the overall look, feel, experience that we can then replicate in different locations.
Okay.
And I think, because for a long, long time, everything was all about Connor, you know, Connor's dentistry, Connor's smile makeovers. And I remember very early on when we were designing House saying, you know, we can't design this around you, because if we do, it limits you. And also, like, for you to continue to grow and use your potential, we have to build up all the different people that work for us, whether it's the front of house or concierge, or whether it's the therapist, or it's the hygiene therapist, or if it's the dentist, or whoever, the nurses, that when people come in, they already feel like they know everybody.
Yeah.
And that's so important, because, you know, it takes the whole team to create this flavor.
How do you do that? Like, how do you do that, especially if you have somebody that does not want to be on socials, or is cringed by it or drags their heels. Like, I'm lucky I have Shad that will literally shake his ass.
Do
it's
anything,
fine.
yeah.
He's like, oh no.
I
And then
love
he's
his
first one
videos,
on
yeah.
it. But my sister's not so forthcoming.
Yeah.
Patrick hates it.
Really?
And Patrick is like the pinnacle of The Secret. People love him, and he
Yeah.
knows everybody by name. He is so hospitable. He's so
nice.
genuine. And I am like, I want to show you off. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so honored to have you as part of my team. I want to show you off. But the minute the cameras come, he's like, I'm going to wipe the windows. I'm like, the windows are fine. And it's so hard because I want people to be like, oh, that's Patrick. I know
Yeah.
him. I know who he is. But how do you do that? I don't, obviously with the website, you have the photos. This is Patrick. He's front of house. But I want the personality of them to come forward as well.
And to love him from the moment they meet him, even though they've never met him before.
Yeah, because
But
they already know him.
Yeah, they already feel like they do.
He just... I think people do know him because he's the one that deals with most of the emails.
Yeah.
Gail is the same, but Gail's been with me for 10 years. Everybody, she's like my right-hand man. It's Batman and Robin. People know Gail. Whereas Patrick is 4 or 5 years in.
Yeah.
So what would you advise for somebody that...
See, for us, we, even at the interview stage, we say, we film in the clinic every week. Are you going to be okay with that? And some of them go, yeah. And I'm like, are you sure though? Because the camera's going to be in your face and we're not going to be doing, and you do
Could
like...
you imagine me? I'd be like, yes.
Are you kidding me?
Let's go.
Yeah. But for us, it's, we make it so that it's just so normal that you just...
That's just part of the culture.
It's the culture, yeah. Like everybody
okay.
does it. And, don't get me wrong, there are some of the team that hate it. I mean, one of the girls in particular works with us. She makes me laugh so much because she's the most like funny and bags of personality off camera. And then the second that it goes on camera, she's like a mute. I'm like, what happened to you? But even now she, 3 years in, almost 2.5 years in, she's also now starting to be involved and asked to be part of them. So I think the key is consistency is number one. I think, if Patrick was here right now, I'd be saying, Patrick, my love, you got this.
You deserve it.
Yeah, you deserve it. You are fabulous. We need to make a celebrity out of you. And so I think, but it is hard, especially when people really don't want to be part of that. We have a set of values at house. And this is another key, I think, to branding, is that a lot of places have values and they say, oh, these are the things that are stuck up on the wall. But for us, like, we genuinely live them every single day. We talk about them in our morning huddle every morning. And some of those things, so one of our values is personality, is that we want you to have personality. Simple as that. Because working at house,
you get swallowed up if you don't have personality.
You get swallowed up. Yeah. But also the people that come to us have got bags of personality. And I think it's going back to, again, what people hear, what they feel, what they see. I want people to come into our brand and our business and say, they were so fun, they were so kind, they were so this. And
you want to be part of that.
Yeah.
You can tell when you're checking into a reception and the reception is having a bicker on the phone or they're like whispering, you can just tell the vibe is off. And then you're like, sorry to be disturbed, but like, can I check into my hotel? And you just don't want it to be like that.
You're like an inconvenience.
Yeah.
I was doing some work with a dental practice up north in Scotland once, and I turned up, it's like just before 9 in the morning. I think I told you this story before. And so I always travel with like my little suitcase and like my little wheelie bag thing with all my clothes and my whole worldly possessions.
The whole world,
literally. Just in case I have to go somewhere else or it all goes wrong. So I pull up with a little suitcase, a laptop bag, a raincoat because it's throwing it down outside. I open up the door and then, the receptionist is behind. She's like, sorry, we're closed. We're doing staff training today. I said, I know.
Me, mate.
And she was like, well, what are you here for then? And I was like, take one look at me. Why do you think I'm here? I'm doing the course.
That's so embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. But, on the flip side of how important it is that everyone's involved, it's such an easy thing for someone to say, oh my gosh, you must be Adam. Yeah. Like, what's the chances somebody, male, she knew my name, would come in with a raincoat, a bag, and a laptop minutes before training is supposed to start. Yeah. Like, what are the chances that a random person...
She's not invested.
Do you know what I'm saying? But so, having personality for us is really important because when people are enabled to or encouraged to be who they actually are, Not only do they feel more confident, more comfortable, but you get the best out of them. They feel free. And, we treat our clinic like a house, just like The Secret, in that when you're there, it's part of the reason it's called House of Dentistry, because in a house lives a family. My goal with this, house rules, but families stick together.
Yeah.
And friends come and go, but this is the kind of motto of the brand that we're trying to build, is that in this place, we are family. We treat each other that way. We have respect. The second value that we have is whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to do X and make it brilliant, that's what we do. And you don't need to come and ask me. You don't need to do anything out of the ordinary. But if you feel like, you need to do something for this client or for each other, that's whatever it takes.
Do it, and then I'll always have your back.
Yeah. And then another one is excellence. The fact that actually to be excellent takes a lot of work. And you're very much like this too, and do a brilliant job at it at The Secret. If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. Now, that doesn't mean to say that it's going to be 5-star, because your best of your ability might be 3-star, or it might be 4-star, it might be 1-star.
At least you gave it your all.
You gave it your all. And when you do something to the best of your ability, there's a sense of pride that comes along with that. And that's what people feel.
Because if you don't give it your best and it fails, you will know that you didn't give it your best. So then you just feel guilty. Yeah. And it takes a lot of swallowing your pride to try again. And
also on that, people can tell if you're doing your best, and they can also tell if you're doing it half-heartedly. And we've all been there, I'm sure. All of you guys listen to this will have been there, where you've bought something from a store, or you've been to someone on a checkout, and they just don't want to be there. They ask all the right things, they treat you politely, they scan it, they do whatever they need to do. The job is done.
It's just not there.
But it doesn't feel good enough, you know, and that's because of the heart, the investment that's in it. And so, the excellence for me is important, but actually all those other things of whatever it takes, passion, energy, enthusiasm, that are the ingredients to really making something go from an 8 to a 10.
So your takeaway tips are of know who you are, know your why.
Yeah.
And have your set of values or your house rules. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you would say, like, people listening to this that would need to have it as their anchor to building their brand?
I would say have non-negotiables. Okay. Things that you absolutely will not do. Yeah. So for us, so we don't wear scrubs at our clinic. Mm-hmm. And this was quite controversial when we opened the clinic.
I know, you tried to dress me like a golf caddy. I was like, honey, I'm postpartum.
She don't do golf. Yeah. So we don't wear scrubs because, for 2 reasons. One, I hate them. I think they're ugly.
I agree.
And it's what everybody else does. And you don't need to wear scrubs. You just need to wear a uniform that can be cleaned and be hygienically done and prepared every day, so that you can wear something that's clean, it's sanitized, whatever, that fits you perfectly, that accentuates the places you want to accentuate, hides the bits you don't, so it's got to make you feel good.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a non-negotiable that if we want to be different from everybody else, we can't do what everyone else does. Yeah. So we don't wear scrubs.
To stand out.
Yeah. I remember we had a locum nurse come in once, and we were really short-staffed. It was when there was like a bout of sickness going around, and this poor girl turned up in scrubs. And I said, if you turn up in scrubs, you're going to have to go home, because like you cannot be, because the second I let it happen,
everybody else is going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And other things like we don't eat anywhere in the building other than in the staff area.
Yeah, now that's fair.
That seems like a fair enough one, because people say, well, it's a medical facility. Well, of course you wouldn't eat in the surgery. Well, obviously we don't, but sometimes we do training in the lobby. We don't eat in there either, because
it'll just smell.
It does smell, but also the lobby is for clients, and it's only use is either for us to sit and train and enjoy having a good experience together.
Funny. That's like when we grew up, we had the living room, what we'd call the family room, and then we had the guest living room, and you weren't even allowed in the guest living room. So your lobby feels like, I wasn't even allowed in there. I was like, when are we allowed in there? Christmas. So we have it in our house now. We have the family room, or what we call the toy room, and then we have the Christmas room, where we only go at like Christmas and birthdays, and that's it. So that's what the lobby is for you guys.
Because it's special. It holds like a special place there. So, that's another one. There's loads of others that are much deeper than that. But, the point I'm making is you have to know what you won't do and where you draw the line. And it's the same for us when the way we speak to each other. We speak in a certain way. We have this understanding. And this is, again, part of building your brand is what do you allow and what do you not allow? You'll be exactly the same as this, in that when you're with me, I don't want to hear negativity. I don't. I'm not interested in it, because not only does it bring me down, but
It brings the whole ethos down of the team.
But if I'm the leader of this brand alongside of Connor, I can't afford to have people nipping at my heels saying, this is wrong, that's broken. What I do expect people to do is to come up with a solution and fix it. And everyone's empowered to do that, same as I am. But my job is to be positive and to encourage and inspire, motivate.
I think I do more of that.
You do this though a lot, I see.
I do, but there's times where the business gets really overwhelming. Like, you're really lucky in that it's you and Connor at the pinnacle of it, and you can bounce ideas off each other, and then everything kind of like scaffolds below that.
Yeah.
But I am the pinnacle, and it gets really overwhelming sometimes. And I'm only human. I'm also a mum of a 2 and 3 year old that I do the lion's share of. At home, I do all the cooking, and yes, I have help with the cleaning and things like that, but it does get too much. And sometimes I'm the one that's bringing the negativity. We'll have a staff meeting and I'm like, guys, I hate when you guys are turning up late on time. And Shad's like, well, you turn up late on time too. I'm like, yeah, because nursery drop-off's not always good sometimes. And then I can see myself falling into the worst employee. I think, well, if that's how I'm being, obviously it just allows them to do the same. Shad will like stroll in after his patient with his dog, sunglasses on. I think that's so unprofessional. And yes, Toji is very much part of the secret now, the way that Patrick is.
Incredibly cute. Yeah.
She's very sweet. She comes and says hi to everyone, and then like knocks at her dad's door. And it's very cute, but like, I don't want to blur the lines between you're in my home and I want you to put your feet up and here's a coffee, and I am a professional that's here to provide your service.
Yeah.
And I think I am really going through that at the moment, because life lately has been overwhelming, and I have dropped a few plates, and that's okay. I have compassion for myself, but I have an action plan. And I think one of the main things for me is I need to set boundaries that I stick to, and then lead by example. Because that's one of the giveaways that I was going to say is you got to stay authentic to yourself, put your face at the front of the brand, let people know who you are and why you're doing it. And if you need to do that every single week to remind your existing followers and introduce yourself to the new followers, do that. And number 2 is lead by example. If you are coming in scrubs and you're not doing your skincare and you're smelling of coffee, how can you expect any of the other team to take it seriously? Whereas I make a point of, I don't wear scrubs. I always come when I'm in a black dress or a nice blouse or a power suit. I make a point of dressing the way I feel, and then it inspires my staff to take themselves seriously as well, although they are in scrubs. Maybe we should change that.
Just for now.
Just for now, we'll change it.
Yeah, we come back.
But I think it's normal to acknowledge, if you're running a business on your own, that you are going to wobble, and it's okay to drop a few plates. You just pick them back up again, and
I think as well,
know your limits.
Like find people like you that you can help. I mean, this is part of the reason why we're doing this podcast, is to share and say, we don't have all the answers either. Like
we're just learning.
We're figuring this out too. And I know it sounds maybe like I've got it all together, but at the same time, I'm very much in the same boat as you.
Oh, I'm there when you're wobbling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Gotta get back up.
And also, like mine and Connor's roles are very different. And I think that's also part of what I've learned over the last little while of building our brand, is that you can't be everything for your brand. You have
to share the load.
You have to find people who can share the load. And I think when you try and do it all yourself, you fail, because you can't. You're jack of all trades, master of none. I stick to my lane, which is I'm the inspirer and the builder. That's what I do really well, and I stick to that. Whenever I try and get involved with the clinical stuff, I have no right to, because first of all, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a dentist, I'm not medically trained. I'm a fabulous interior, and I'm a motivational speaker. Like give me a room to decorate and I'm going. Or give me a speech to do and I'm ready to roll.
I feel like I'm all of it.
Yeah.
And I had to be all of it, but now I'm starting to let go of the reins. And when you're starting a business on your own, you have to be all of it.
You do have to be. Well, I've been payroll, disciplinary. You tell me.
Product order, cleaner. Of like yesterday, I was setting up for mezzanine's hosting today. I was like wiping down chairs, and I thought, what is going on? But it doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. Like when you start, you have to be the nucleus of your business, because only you know what you want to create. And then once that nucleus turns into a proper cell, you can then start expanding into all your members of your family. But that would be my absolute giveaways. Stay authentic to yourself. It's okay to have a wobble. and you need to be the jack of all trades at the beginning, but not until the end. And yours are?
My thing, well, it's actually something that I've not spoken about, but it's something that you do, I think, brilliantly, which is you have created this brand and you're so open with what you share, especially on socials, and how you inspire other people. I think how you've done that is very, very, I think it's brilliant. And it's something that you do way better than I do.
I appreciate that.
No, it's true, it's for sure. You know, and I think how you've built your audience is fantastic. And I think from an outsider looking in at what you've done and really sharing a part of your life that most people don't get to see, you know, it's kind of the behind the scenes of the business and a bit of being a mom and being, you know, a wife and
it's the windy bit of the snow globe.
Yeah.
I let people see the show, and I think social media is a wonderful part to see, but somebody's still got to wind me up. I'm still doing my skincare at the window and watching my neighbors cut their grass. Like, I'm a normal girl. And I want to show people that I'm a normal girl, so it inspires them to reach for greatness. Because if I can do it, anyone can do it. And if you can do it, anyone can do it.
I totally agree. I do. I think the thing that, the only thing I've done differently from my brothers and my sisters, for example, or any of my friends, is that I've just
believed in yourself.
Yeah, although a lot of people, I think, believe in themselves. I think for me, the thing I did differently was I had a very clear vision of what I wanted to build. And then I just replicated who I was in that, you know. So, and this goes back to what we were saying at the very beginning, that your world that you've built, my world that I've built, they are, if people could see our homes, it's a snapshot of that. If people saw us on a night out, it's a snapshot of that too. You know, if people were with us at the spa, it would be a snapshot of that.
Which we are going to
do. Which we are on Thursday. But this is my point though, is that I think the thing we've done is we've taken who we are and we've built something from that. And neither are perfect. You know, House is not perfect by any means. I'm sure you'd say the same with Secret.
Oh no, it's got so much growing to do.
Yeah, and that's the exciting thing, is that even with all their flaws, it still is building something really, really good that I'm proud of. And I think this goes back to what I was saying before about that passion and the energy that you have for it. We both have given everything, literally blood, sweat and tears to our brands. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it takes that to build a brand. But until you do it, you don't appreciate what that means.
Like everything I've lost, friends, relationships, I sold my flats, my marriage took a serious tumble. Like you guys don't always get to see that part of it. And it's supposed to be hard. That's why I kept saying to myself, it's supposed to be hard. Everybody would do it if it was this easy. But I think you've taught me all the 5 senses.
Thank you.
And I think if you've learned anything from today and you're wanting to build your brand, then take away our takeaway tips, which is be authentic to yourself. You got to give it all, set your boundaries, and it's okay to wobble and drop the plates sometimes. So please like, share, and subscribe, and come back for more tips from your friends Adam and Kaly.
See you
Bye.
Soon. This is the Life Lift podcast with Adam and Kaly, where we look at how to make shift happen. From our home to yours, we hope you feel inspired and motivated to do at least one thing differently today as you make your own shift happen towards a more rewarding and fulfilling life filled with purpose and happiness.